So, I'm here with a good friend of mine, Jeffrey Slayter. So, stoked to be connecting, and I am super excited to share with you guys because I just asked Jeff for a huge favour, and I've asked him if he would be willing to come and offer his time to speak at the Awaken event coming up in the Gold Coast on the 10th of August. And Jeff said he would be up for that. So he's got a few hours, be willing to give his time and come and spend a bit of time and share his insights with us. So how is it to be coming back and speaking with us down on the coast?
It's good. I'm no longer doing events in Australia, and yet it's nice to be able to come and talk and give some time and connect with your audiences. And I'm looking forward to doing that. And looking forward to jumping in some new subjects that are...
Yeah, totally. I've seen your brand and your message. Like, you've taken such a new direction this past year. Tell us a bit about that. What's going on?
Well, the new direction is, I guess it's being okay with being directionless.
Yeah.
And that's a thing that there's always been this path that people want to go on and needing to know where it's all going to go, but then being okay with the path of no path. I guess that was a path. Yeah. And not necessarily needing to know the outcome, be fixed on the outcome in the future. So when I say directionalist, what I specifically mean by that is to be a little bit in the mystery as well as in the intent of it. And my intention is to redefine success by everyday standards. People have this idea of success that it's, big house, nice car, or even success in their spiritual endeavors, a place to get to, and a certain peak in their totally. And I feel like that's exhausting, and for people, and for myself as well, trying to get somewhere in any sort of whatever that goal is, instead of just being here.
Yeah, it's a pretty subtle conversation for a lot of people. When they're starting out, perhaps on some of their personal growth journey. So, what kind of people do you find are really looking for this stage and this step in what they do? Where do they get to?
I feel that a lot of people right now are looking potentially outside of themselves. Yeah. I know for myself I was at times for the next stage. I don't know what your next stage is. I was listening to this, only you know. But I think it's a nice gentle reminder to remind us that this is a time where we look within ourselves to what the next stage is. No longer looking to myself, other people around us, to the authority anymore. We are our own authority and our own authority to our lives. We're not authorities on other people. And the things I share with you, people can take it and leave them.
Yeah. I guess this is a question that really is not burning, but I love how it ripples through me. Is like this whole concept of spirituality and what that means. What's alive for you on that at the moment? Where are you with that one?
With the term spirituality?
Yeah.
I think being unspiritual is spiritual.
Yeah.
Whatever spirituality is.
Yeah.
Just being just redefining what it needs to be. The answer is I have no idea what spirituality is. And I'm okay with that. And anytime I think I have some sort of ideology about what spirituality is, I think I've lost the spiritual nature of it. I can say that the experience of when we're on our path feels like we're in flow and easy and effortless.
Yeah, definitely that concept of going beyond an ideology to find our own answers, I think.
Yeah, ideology can be a trap, as Terence McKenna says.
So for me, it's been a lot around finding, like, the second you're asking, who am I and who do I be in this world? How do I be here? That's a spiritual quest or a question.
Yeah.
I kind of love that.
I mean, we're on a spiritual journey right now in this discussion because everything's spiritual journey.
Awesome. So you touched on Terence McKenna, psychedelics and stretching our consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
How does that piece come into evolving?
I've had the privilege of working with a lot of executives in the jungles and working with people around entheogens or psychedelics of nature, from ayahuasca to wachuma to the Sonora Desert Toad, all kinds of experiences. And I can say that it can be a distraction towards a continuous cycle where we want to avoid, we don't want to miss out. So we're seeking these peak experiences over and over again to avoid actually just being here right now and being okay with it. The mundane a bit, and the so-called mundane. But I think Terence McKenna says to be in reality is to be astonished. So reality itself is pretty astonishing. And if someone needs to work with psychedelics to come to that realization, so that they don't need to experience psychedelics anymore, I think that's great. Yet I can see right now there's many people who continually do work with these plants to avoid the integration of what the plant is. A wise teacher once said to me, she said, it's not how much medicine you do or psychedelics you do, it's what you take away from it.
Yeah. Definitely learning to live with the insights that come from medicine work and to be that, like to be able to reconnect to those experiences in and every day, to go, well, ayahuasca showed me how to shift this pattern in my mind. Can I do that now and be that now and access that medicine in myself now?
Correct.
Like, that integration, huge.
I think it reminds me of, there's a book called Stilling Fire.
Yeah.
And it talks about once we have people have these extreme peak experiences and they think that no one else has had them.
Yeah.
And so they go out and be the authority on those peak experiences. Yeah. And they tell everyone about their peak experiences, which is fascinating. And then instead of just doing their laundry. So they say, like, when you see ecstasy, do laundry. You know, that might be make money, look after your family, be good to your friends, spend time doing what you love, meditate, eat good food, do your laundry, instead of just sharing about all your peak experiences all the time.
Yeah.
Nobody really cares because we've all had them.
Yeah. Well, it's some of that being able to be the bliss and the connection and the safety in ourselves, to actually live that in our frequency without being a high or a low, but more of a fullness, I guess, is kind of what I'm sensing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's just enjoy our life.
So coming back to your new direction, what is beyond success? How would you start to describe?
What's beyond success?
Oh, don't make me laugh.
I will tell. Here's a great story about what's beyond success that I will share with you.
Yeah, I love to.
Okay, so I have a friend of mine, and she has these two incredible daughters, and I'll just say her name. My friend is Marina, and she's got two daughters, and they're so adorable, and Marina does some great work in the world, and her daughters love to give gifts. Okay, they love to give gifts, and one day I was hanging out with Marina, and her daughters got to know her daughters a bit, and now all of a sudden, her daughters, they decided. She goes, Marina kind of pulls me aside, and she's like, "Just so you know, my kids, like, they love to give gifts. They love giving gifts, and they want to give you a gift, okay?" So I'm like, "Okay." She goes, she's like kind of apologetic about it, but Marina's amazing as a person. She's like, so just when you get the gifts,
you don't have a lot of references around.
Yeah.
Kids.
Yeah. I used to run I never ran a daycare center, so I'm like, so she's like, okay, so they're gonna give you the gifts, and she's trying to train me without training me to be excited when the gifts arrive. Now, what people don't know is I do get excited about great gifts, okay? Like, so she just wanted to make sure I was getting excited. So there we are, and we're sitting down, and the two girls are beaming with excitement, okay? And they're pretty young, and they're just so excited to give me these gifts, and I'm like, all right, cool, and then they go out of the room and they bring it back in, and it's this little present, and it's like this picture of a llama. It's like a huge picture of a llama. They're like, we know that you like llamas because you went to Peru and you like llamas and blah, blah. So it's a llama. So I'm like, that's amazing. I was like so excited because I really was excited about the picture of a llama. Yeah. And I was like, I'm gonna put this in my house. It's gonna go there. It's a black frame llama, everything, and it's just kind of goofy looking llama. And I was like, yeah, that's success. By beyond success is enjoying the moment, right? Yeah. And so I was really excited about that. And then they're like, oh, they kind of had this like gift on the side, And I was like, ooh, and it was for her other friend, but I didn't know it, and I thought it was for me. I was like, what's that? I kind of pointed, and they're like, oh, those aren't for you. I was like, oh, and I was like, cool. And then they're like, but if you want them, you can have them. And I was like, all right. And what they were llama slippers. Now this is enjoying your life, having fun, I would say, is the term beyond success. Of course you have to make money. Of course it's good to make an impact. But if you can't have any fun along the way, then what are you frickin' doing? So they pulled out these, so I'm like, who are those llama slippers? They're like, well, you can have them if you want. I was like, yeah. So they're llama slippers.
Pink llama slippers.
Yeah, and so they're very comfortable.
They match your llama jacket.
Yeah, I'd say so. So if you're lucky, I'll wear these, and people can have their opinions about them, and I will be offended by you being offended by my pink llama slippers, and I almost care. But then I will care, but I almost will not care. But I will tell you straight up that life is about being ourselves. And I was so grateful to receive these llama slippers and the picture that I realized in that moment that life is about enjoying the people around you.
Yeah.
And of course it's good to make an impact. Of course it's great to have a mission, whatever that is, and to make an impact. But what's most important is connection to ourselves, connection to others, connection to the playfulness inside of ourselves, and to let go of the opinions of others. Do I wear these llama slippers all the time? No, but my feet are cold, so I wore them.
So, yeah, definitely that connection, community, and really being able to be in that, not have so many stories or projections or who am I supposed to be, or
getting wrapped up in
an identity you have to live up to,
or the process of spiritual work can be very distracting. When we're in a process, there's a process which is great, but then when our process takes us away from the work, be careful. And I know for myself, I've been in processes which the process distracts you from the work.
Yeah,
being wrapped up in the drama and the story.
Yeah. One of the awesome ideas actually Betty mentioned the other day was around getting so focused on breath work but not actually breathing. Yeah,
like the yoga positions versus doing yoga.
Well, versus moving.
Yeah.
And feeling your body move.
Yeah.
You have to be in a certain position before it's correct.
One thing that really supported me was just moving my body, like going, surfing and then now hiking and spending time every day moving my body. This makes a huge difference. That's great spiritual work.
Yeah. So being someone who's gone out there and had a lot of, I guess, what people would perceive as real material success from the outside of what they want, speaking on stages, impacting lots of people. What do you see and feel about creating an impact now? Like, what's important in that to notice for people?
Well, as we redefine success as leaders, it's important that we define success for us specifically and what is successful for us, which I would say fulfillment is very important. Like in my book, Success 2.0, I talk a lot about going beyond success to find fulfillment. And when we find fulfillment within ourselves, then no one can take it away from us. And then the expression that comes from that is true to us, but my role or someone else's role is no more important than anyone else's. It's like my role is to be my role. Maybe it's to wear what llama slippers right now, and that's it. That's my role. And then, but there might be another role where my right now is to question people's roles. Like, just do your part. Nature has a beautiful way of working everything out, and if we all do our part, then we're not worried about global impact. We're just impacting ourselves and impacting the next thing in front of us, and naturally everything seems to work. Seems to all be working fine. Breathing.
And like one thing I also say I've really loved it with you and your events and just being such a big part of that for so long is that for so many years that was a big piece of the fulfillment, and then it evolves and it
changes,
and we don't have to stay in one story about who you are or who you have to be.
That's a good point, Sam. There's identity coherence is the most important thing for a human being, and if somebody has the identity of being a speaker, a coach, a change maker, a spiritual person, these identities, those identities, a leader, even a leader, then like a leader can't wear pink llama slippers if he feels like it. What the heck's that? A leader can't challenge the status quo. A leader can't say that. A leader, rules, all these rules, when in fact it's always changing. So we want to move past the identity and the trap of identity within ourselves, so we can trust what's next for us in the moment. That's my best attempt at explaining moving past ideology.
Well, it's huge, and that's probably something I'll touch a bit on my session in the event, is around identities and how we project them out, not just on ourselves, but we project them out all over everyone else. And there's these enemies we see, but there's also those, the ones you're talking about, the angel images is what I call them, but we infatuate. We have to be this golden thing, or other people are this golden thing, or they're this bad thing, and we're trying to fit them into boxes all the time, and fucking hurts.
Yeah, the boxes are like cages.
Yeah.
And it's time we move past our cages.
Yeah.
And, we all potentially have a key inside of ourselves to unlock our own cage, right?
But that shifting of identity and that comfort in the self, that's not always a comfortable process.
Not at all. I would say it's a bit uncomfortable. It can be very challenging, and that's the challenge that people experience, is they think it's going to be comfortable and easy, and it's definitely not. I've experienced immense sadness, and that's frustration, pain, heartache, and I remember when I got off stage, one of my life goals when I was 20 was to be on stage with Tony Robbins, because I had gone to I don't know how many of his events, and he's a great trainer, and one of my goals was to be on stage with Tony Robbins, and so I was in London, and I think it was Tony Robbins, Robert Kiyosaki was speaking, and whatever. I was on, me and Kane were on after Tony, and I got on, and it was amazing. It was a great presentation. We had fun. But I got off, and it was just empty. I felt empty. I felt, what was that all about? I'd waited, I don't know how many years to do that. Felt frustrated, and like I should have felt different. Should have been more. And it was
that goal should have changed.
That goal should have changed me. Like I was supposed to turn into a freaking unicorn or something, When I got, nothing changed, and I went back to I did. Yeah, I went back to my room, and I was like, it was just kind of lonely and empty, and that was weird. And so in that moment, I realized that absolutely nothing outside of myself, no goal, nothing I'm going to do, no partner, no experience external is ever going to have me be more fulfilled than I am in the moment. And that's a thing that when people hit their point of success, or they see through it, whatever that term may be for you, your problems become a different set of problems than other people's, because people are like, well, that's great, you did it, but actually inside you're having a different conversation. So that's why sometimes successful people like to spend time with other successful people, but when the term success, I mean people that have been through that journey. Yeah. Or it's not all about
creating what they want in the material outside.
Whatever that is.
Thing, it's now back to
impact. It's about impact versus being seen. It's about
and not even saying I'm creating an impact, but just having one and knowing it.
Yeah, having one, and that's it. Yeah. It's not as loud, which is fine if that's what it is. But here I am, I'm being seen and I'm sharing it. But I also know that this is part of what's important for me, is to share a message at times. Yeah. And it might be for another couple of years. It might not be. When it's not, I'll stop doing it. It wasn't for the last 8 months. I just decided to chill out.
Yeah. It's been fun chilling out, actually.
It has.
I think we need those seasons inside with ourselves as the focus before we bring our medicine out to share.
I agree. It's really important to go inward and do our work, and then every day to spend that time and balance between that. Like Bruce Lee says, be like water, and kind of like a little paradox. So today, there's some videos. I'm putting myself out there. Then I'll go for a hike and meditate, and then do a couple more videos, and then do some more work, then have a nice dinner. Really exciting. I have a garden now, but then some people, but that's my definition of success. Yeah. And that's what I mean by redefining success, is to find your own definition, not what society says. That's crazy. Even around the spiritual stuff. Yeah. Because there's
when you can ascend to some certain supposed state of
Well,
whatever.
When you're activated, I feel very active. It's fine. It's good.
It's a story, and sometimes it helps to follow a story for a little while to make sense
Totally.
of the concept. But if you don't have your own adventure and experience, you never find out what your story is.
Perhaps we're just explorers. Perhaps each of us listening to this are explorers on their exploration of finding our own destiny that's already here. And that's all we need to do. And there's no right or wrong destiny. It's just our destiny. So whatever that is for you, please define it, go after it, have fun, enjoy it. And if it includes llama sippers, awesome.
There's one other thing you were sharing about, like, for people that have a perception of success, or they're creating success, or they have these identities, whatever, and there's a need to change or go inward. There's a real vulnerability in that.
That's challenging.
And then to have a conversation about it, it's like...
Yeah, it's hard on the people around you that are close,
Yeah.
When you're like, I need time to myself, but it's important to explain to them that has nothing to do with them. Like, some people listening to this might need to take some time in solitude with themselves for a few days, but then they might have partners that they might be in a codependent type of relationship with, where they're not able to communicate that stuff with, so other people take it personally.
Yeah.
But we want to be in relationships with ourselves and others where we can say, I'm going to take some time out for a few days. It has nothing to do with you, but I'm going to go and inquire into this and discover and give myself some space. And then you come back to that person. Many people build relationships around themselves where they are not able to have those direct conversations where they can be blunt about it and also not have the other person take it personally.
Yeah. I'm still on the topic of vulnerability in my head, because you shared a few posts recently about vulnerability and being able to lean into the discomfort. Where's the place for that, for people really searching for this success 2.0?
The places wherever they feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
For me, even those some of the posts I've shared, those are my just diaries. Like I have the privilege.
They tend to be meaningful.
No. I have this great woman who I work with. Her name's Susan. And every week I do a call with her. And I'm not a very good typer. I misspell a lot. I'm working on it. But I can't seem to, when I talk and the ideas come, I can't seem to get down on typing as fast as I can think. So there's this great woman I work with where every week I have an hour with her where we get on Skype. She has a share screen right there, and then I'll take a moment and I'll pause. And like, I think one of the topics I wrote about was love. And I just was like, well, I just said to her, I said, love. And I just started, and I was like, this is the topic of love. I said, most people think that love is about this. And I just started sharing, and I talked uninterrupted for about 15 minutes. And she has this amazing capacity to type everything I say beyond like a transcriber. Yeah. She just knows how to, because she's helped me write Success 2.0 and some of my other books. And so by the time I'm done, I've said everything I need to say about that subject in that moment. Now, usually before that hour of taking a hike, meditate, chill, and then let it come out, and it comes out, and it's just, I'm like, wow, that's what I feel about love. Great. And then I log it, and then I decide to post it when I feel it's right, and if sometimes I don't. So, but it's coming from a place of, then when I share it, people seem to learn things about it, about themselves. And that's it for me. But I really just get the privilege of sharing it, and I'm grateful people read it. If they don't, fine. Yeah. I would write them anyway.
Yeah.
I enjoy it, though. And I'll keep doing it until I enjoy it. Until I stop enjoying it.
Awesome. So, we'll wind up in just a second. But I guess I've told you a fair bit about this event and sharing the vision. Why would people come to something like this? Like, what do you think would be good about this kind of conversation for them?
Number one, it'll challenge what you think is probably possible within yourself and where you want to go. But not the way you think, like you need to be more or have more, you need to be more or have it all. More just like, more just you'll include the parts that you'll probably start to include the parts of you that you exclude the most. which means more permission to be yourself in whatever way that is for you. Number two, you'll get a chance to redefine what success is for you. So you get it in your terms, so it's very clear. So that instead of going out and working towards it, it has a better chance of happening for you, where you're not going after it, you're receiving what's already happened. What does that mean? Find out at the event. Number three, you'll get some clear distinctions around the gift of actually being here and being okay with where you are and where you're not, and from that place, becoming relentlessly committed to a remarkable life according to you and nobody else. And I say the last one is, my job is to be me, and if you learn something, great. And I know there'll be incredible other speakers there that'll share some messages. I'm just going to be me, and you can take what you like from my journey or throw out the rest. But I feel that's the best work we can give to the world, is to be ourselves, and then see where it goes from there.
Yeah. And I'm just so excited bringing a room together of people that really are ready for these kind of messages and these conversations. I think it opens up a lot for us when we're surrounded by community that also is ready to hear this and see us in that.
And I would say some people are ready to hear it, and some people are not ready to hear it, but they're there anyway, so some part of them is ready.
Yeah.
And I'm so grateful that you're bringing people like this together and having challenging conversations that challenge the norm, which is really important, because language is a technology itself.
I know. Far out. That's a whole other conversation. We're going to wrap it up for now. I've loved having you share this with Jeff, and I cannot wait to see you at the event and have you share with everyone.
Thank you, Sam.
Bye.